Welcome, the lucid ascent, rising on the plains through the middle pillar with the alchemical Cabala. So this week, we're going to start integrating more deeply the currents of the middle pillar, particularly the three keys of the major arcana that are the paths that connect the central Sephiroth on the middle pillar. All right, so here's one image of the tree of life. Anybody, just unmute yourselves and just tell me what stands out to you that's different regarding the middle pillar versus the left and the right, or mercy and severity.
There's four Sephiroth in the middle.
Excellent. Thank you, Victoria.
And there's three paths between them rather than four.
Excellent. Thank you, Susan.
The middle pillar looks like the brightest one.
Nice. Very nice observation. Thank you, Mary. All right. So the middle pillar is the primary pillar of the tree, and it is the straight path. It's the path that connects the very highest to down directly, straight down to the very lowest sphere on the tree of life. And because of this, the middle pillar is sometimes called the direct path for this reason. Sometimes it's called the path of the arrow. All right. Who remembers this imagery? All right. So this is an image to show you the currents of what we call the practice of the fountain breath. All right, here's the point. You should have a breathing technique and exercise that you practice and know very well. Whatever works for you, you should have one. This practice, we're going to practice tonight collectively and together, and I'll guide you through it. This is called the fountain breath exercise. It's a pranic exercise to bring in the superconscious into all the vehicles of our being down to Malkut. It's very powerful and it's very potent. And you should be familiar with it and use it. The more you practice this, the easier it gets. Okay. So we are going to practice what's called the middle pillar, Sephiroth. We're going to initiate those and then we're going to go into the fountain breath and I will guide everyone through it. Okay. All right. So I want you to get comfortable, sit up straight, feet on the ground, take some deep breaths. In your knowing and imagination, I want you to reach up to the highest, purest point that you can conceive of, the highest good. And now feel that pure white light come down and form a perfect sphere, radiant, pure, brilliant white light spinning above your head, 1 to 2 feet above your head. As you breathe in, just feel this light radiate all down through your whole auric egg, feeling that light spin. Just feel like the heat lamp above your head. Feel that light spinning, breathing relaxed. Now you're going to feel that white, brilliant light descend now and form another spinning sphere at your face and your throat. This light now spins in unison, and this light is a pearl lavender light, spinning now at your face and your neck. Yahweh. Feel the light spinning, your face and your throat, relaxed. Feel the light spinning above your head. It flows down now through the sphere at your face and down into your heart and abdomen, where it forms this radiant golden light, like the sun is spinning inside of your heart and abdomen now. Deep breaths. Feel the light rotate and spinning in your central core. Yod Hey Vav Hey. Relaxed, feel this light continue to spin. All three lights are spinning. As you take a deep breath, the one white light comes down from the crown through the light spinning in your face and the light spinning in your heart, down into your groin, where it forms a beautiful and perfect sphere of purple light spinning in unison with the three above it. Feel this light. Feel it spin. You are safe. You are secure. The white light radiates through all of these spheres down into this purple sphere at your groin. Shaddai Lokai. Feel these four spheres spinning all down your central axis. The next breath, feel the light descend from your crown all the way down to your feet through each sphere, where it forms this beautiful golden olive sphere of light spinning in unison with the four spheres above it. This golden light has shimmers of beautiful red and black sparkles of light all through it. Feel this light spinning at your feet, in unison with the light at your heart and your crown. And you feel and sense a rainbow of light radiating at your feet as all the spheres of light of the central pillar spin in harmony with one another, with your breathing. Adonai. Amen. Feel the spinning spheres and just relax and breathe normally. Breathing normally and relaxed, we're about to circulate the white light of the crown with the fountain breath exercise. I will guide you through this. We will have three different types of circulation, and I will explain them, and we will do each one 3 times. I'll tell you the sequence as we begin. Feel the light with your inhale, the radiant, blinding white light of Keter above your head. When you inhale, feel the light flow down the whole front of your body, through your whole auric field, spinning at your feet. On exhale, feel the white light shoot up your whole backside, back to the crown. On the pause, it spirals again in the crown. Inhaling, feel the light flow like water down the whole front of your being. It spirals at your feet. On exhale, it rushes up the backside of your whole being back to the crown. Inhaling, the light flows like a waterfall of light down the whole front of your being, spins at your feet. Exhaling, it rushes back up your whole backside to the crown and spins above your head. Relax. Breathe in the light. Our next circulation is going to be down the left and up the right. So see the radiant light above your head? On inhale, it flows all down through your left side, spins at your feet. On exhale, it rushes up your whole right side and joins back to the crown, spinning above you. Inhaling, feel the light pour down your whole left side like water, spiraling at your feet. On exhale, it flows up your right side. Feel it flowing back up to the crown. Inhaling, the light flows down your whole left side, spirals at your feet. Exhaling, it flows up your whole right side and joins back to the crown. Relax, breathing. Now see the light above your head. Inhaling, feel the light flow like a fountain through your whole being, down your left, down your right, down your front, down your back, spinning at your feet. On exhale, comes up the center of your spine, back to the crown. Good. Feel new fresh light pour into the crown above your head. On inhale, it flows like you're under a waterfall down through your whole auric field. Feel it radiate and spinning tightly at your feet. Comes into a very tight ball. On exhale, it shoots up the very center of your spine back to the crown. Inhaling, the white light flows down through your whole auric egg and field, spirals at your feet into a tight spherical ball. Exhaling, it shoots directly up the middle pillar through your central spine back to the crown. Relax breathing. Relaxed. Now just feel the light as it spirals like a perfect galaxy right above your head and spirals in all sorts of ways through your whole auric egg, through all of your vehicles, from the highest to the lowest. Sense that you are in this abyss of light and you are completely centered from your highest being to your lowest manifestation in Malkut. Sitting in your chair, breathe naturally and feel the light continue to circulate in its own rhythmic intelligence. Good. So relax when you're ready. Open your eyes. All right. So in the Western tradition, the middle pillar is the path of the priesthood. Would anyone like to just share anything that occurs to you about this function or this idea this office that we call priesthood? Anyone?
It is the dance, the holding the tension between opposites, and it is the becoming a member of the integrated body.
Beautifully said, Jesse. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anything that occurs to you?
I have a thought.
Mhm.
Maybe to receive, to transmute, and to give.
Excellent. Yes, very nice. Anyone else?
I'm just thinking to carry the light, just like Susan just said, to receive, to carry, and to give to all. Yeah, very good.
Beautiful. Thank you, Richard.
Embodiment of Christ on earth.
Excellent. Thank you, Patrick.
I like
Okay.
the statement that you had written there by Father Paul, where if you want to be
Ah,
be in heaven, to live in heaven, if you want to bring it to earth, right? If you want to bring heaven to earth, start living in heaven.
perfect. Thank you, Reverend Genevieve. All right. Yeah, that's beautifully. That's pretty much it, isn't it? All right. Okay. Excellent. So, just to be crystal clear for anyone watching this, in the Western tradition, the alchemical Cabala, and in the Holy Order of Mans, priesthood is not gender specific, okay? Meaning both women and men are acknowledged and admitted into the priesthood. In fact, in the Western mystery tradition, the high priestess holds the highest middle path on the tree of life. We also know she is the foundation of the cube of space. This is important, particularly now in our evolution. We value and honor the divine feminine. All right. So, just offhand, if I was to ask anyone here if you could draw the 10 Sephiroth and name each one and write it out on a piece of paper from the simple tree of life from memory, could you do that? Okay. All right. How about the planes that connect them? There's seven. This is the simple tree, right? Does anyone think they could do that right now if they were given pen and paper, pencil and paper?
I've done it a few times.
Good.
It,
Yes.
it's
Easy, good.
it's with a
Yeah.
square and a compass, you can create a
Okay.
perfect
Well,
form.
I appreciate the engineering perfectionism there. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to know, can you name each sphere on the simple tree of life?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Those of you who can, great. Consider just doing that. And if you can't, draw the simple tree of life and just write out what each sphere is in the most simple terms. Then this week, make that happen. Okay? Do that. All right. So here is the simple tree next to the middle pillar. Okay? We've got at the height or the crown, we've got the divine self, the spiritual plane. Coming down, the next sphere is divine life, divine mind, causing the causal plane. In memory and volition, the higher mental plane. In the heart of the central self of the egoic plane. And this is the I, not the modern interpretation of ego. That's basically everything below here. So we have our desire sphere here, 7, our intellect at 8. These make up the lower mental plane. Then we've got the vital soul, our astral plane. And down finally, in containing all of these spheres above it, in the flesh body of the physical plane of Malkuth. All right. So here's some commentary on priesthood and the middle pillar. Priesthood is the state or office of one who serves as a mediator between the divine and the human realms. So look again at the simple tree. The crown up here is the divine self, right, in the spiritual plane. And then the mediator, of course, the Christ sphere at the heart. Everything below this is pretty much humanity realms, okay? It's where most of us incarnate in the earth, where we spend a lot of our life, and where most of our consciousness is basically self-aware. And it's consequently where most people identify their being as. So the very basic level, most people who aren't maybe as awake or a little more asleep, they basically just identify themselves at this low level of the physical body. It's not unholy, it's just that's the level they're conscious of their self. And then, of course, people start to wake up a little and they start to dream, right? In the astral plane. And then we in this class are waking up more and more in this plane to be able to work on the deeper levels of the tree. A priest is consecrated to perform specific sacred rites. Just for a couple examples would be like baptism and communion. A couple other functions for a priest is to teach spiritual truth and to guard the mysteries of a particular tradition. In broader spiritual and symbolic terms, priesthood represents the inner faculty that unites heaven and earth. It's the soul's capacity to sanctify life by aligning personal will with divine will. This is done at the level of the soul. And it's our spiritual evolution that dictates when we are ready to come into or to serve in this function. So in one sense, this is the activation and the integration of the middle pillar in the aspirant and the initiate. And this isn't just a social role. Okay, we have plenty of that in the world. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're talking here about a spiritual function, which Jesse alluded to with his answer of holding the tension of opposites, right? One very, very important function, and also Susan brought up the transmutation. This is one of the main functions of priesthood, is to hold the opposites and bring them into transmutation. to make whole or holy. This isn't about good and bad the way the world tells us, although it could look that way to the mind that thinks the way the world thinks. We bridge worlds from the very highest to the very lowest and speak from the center of one's authentic self, where the divine presence is known. So I'm going to repeat this. To speak from one's center where the divine presence is known. This isn't something we have to make. It's what we are. It's what you are. From an alchemical Kabbalistic view, priesthood corresponds to the soul's evolution and waking into conscious participation with the higher order of the all, in service to the one and in service to all. So, in short, as mediators or priests, we serve to connect the innermost to the outermost, the highest to the lowest, in service to the one and for the good of all. Now, to be clear, this is not about religion in a dogmatic way, okay? There are more things in heaven and earth than contained in any of our philosophies. Our service is about being a channel for the actual eternal living spirit and presence for whatever is needful in the moment. All right. So let's get to our core practice for this class. And here it is. Give these three keys your attention, please. And whenever you're ready, just unmute yourselves one at a time and share what occurs to you in these three keys of the middle pillar.
Merging heaven and earth.
Couldn't have said that any better. Very nice. Thank you.
They're balancing. The world is involution and evolution of energies, and in the center, temperance is balancing the water and the fire.
Yes.
And the high priestess has the two polar sides. She's in the center.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent observations.
I like how in the world key, the figure's holding the two spirals of light, which are the pillars in the key of the high priestess.
Very, very good. Yes. Excellent.
I noticed that you see the opposites with the high priestess and then temperance, mixing them together.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, you see the four creatures and the human, the four on the corners. And I thought that they're like I forget the word, the stable. What's the word for them? They're like the stable
You're talking about the
four corners. I
fixed
can't think of the
signs,
word.
the fixed signs of the zodiac. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's like you have
The
the
cardinal
changeable ones and the
directions.
cardinal, and then what's the third word? The
Let's
fixed,
see.
fixed. There we go.
Yeah.
It's like it's making the last one stable and fixed.
Ah,
That
nice.
was my point.
Very cool. Good point.
There is a remembrance to this key with the holding of the tension between opposites um, is the remembrance. And we see that in the flowing waters of the high priestess moving between all of these figures here. The
Right.
world key is immersed in it in a sense too.
Hmm.
I'm feeling with this like that what we're doing here requires so much energy and attention that you it's just a trip, man. It's just like that tension and it's just like over and over and over and over. It just keeps growing and then expanding, and we are evolving through this constant doing this. I mean, it's nuts, honestly.
I feel you. Yeah. Right.
I don't even have
I,
words for it, but if that makes any sense of what I even just said,
Yeah, I feel you.
I
because
know
it's
I
like
like the
a
look.
what
constant thing we're attentive to, right? And it's just like, and there we break through another thing, and then here comes an okay. It's like the whack-a-mole when you're going up to the fair and those moles come up and you're like knocking them on the head. It's
Okay.
that. Here comes another one and another one.
All right.
Yeah.
so can I say something?
Please do.
So I noticed that the high priestess has to do with subconscious. The temperance is the waking conscious, and the world is the super consciousness. If that makes any sense to you.
Okay. It makes sense to me. I appreciate you saying that. We definitely see a trinity.
Real briefly, looking at the cards, just the two things that stand out. One is the fact that they kind of go hand in hand a little bit with regards to looking at the just looking at the clothing, for example. So I'm thinking of, Kether, the white divinity and all that, and how in the world key, it's the figure is naked outside of the cuff that's draped around it, with I think it's purple, like a bluish purple there, but holding it to involution, evolution, spires, and how the have all the clouds that are around it, for the white, and then as you move up into the temperance screen, how the figure is draped in the it's Michael, right? The in
Hmm.
the clothing, in the white clothing there, and then with the star in the center, and how there's still this kind of blends the other aspect I was going to point out with regards to there's still kind of like an action going on, which is the fire and the water, the water and the fire, right? The
Yep.
pouring the water on the lion figure, and then the fire on the eagle, right? The what Scorpio raised, that whole thing.
Right.
Um, and then when you get to the high priestess, where she is, there's just something about it. I don't know. Whenever I say cards, there's such a like a sense of balance, poise, just kind of
Boy.
those, yeah, just that
Yeah.
exact that poise element, and just how it's like there's I mean, dare I say the word like perfection, just that is present there, and how she is just there in between this perfect balance, of all things, and how again the clothing of the how it's just this all white that she is the robe that she's in, and then that like the blue shawl, right, or covering, whatever it is there, but just the amount of white robe, and just that part of how the the divinity and the grace that is there, it's still present, but just kind of more integrated, as you move up within that pillar to where at that point of the high priestess, it's just this kind of present stillness, and yet there is so much that flows forth as that's what I always see whenever I look at, from her lap and how, from the Torah that water of all what the sparkles, the stars and all that kind of like flow forth from her lap. But just the thing of like, because again, the whole involution evolution part too, just like the movement, repose, stillness and action and that kind of interplay, but how it's all kind of enveloped in this aspect of divinity. Really kind of stands out in that, but just want to share that part.
Very nice. Thank you, Easy.
I really think that remembrance sums it up for me on this one.
Okay. When I see the spirals in the world dancer's hands, it reminds me of the fountain breath we just did. This field of that white brilliance flowing through and then coming back up. All it's one continuous flow.
Well, I find interesting uh, the high priestess with the pomegranates in the background, but then the temperance has the half circle arc, and then the world has the full wreath, the closure of the circle.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That's a
But
really good point.
yeah. I'm just really drawn tonight to the cosmic mind flowing from the Torah on the high
Mm.
priestess's lap, and it just seems very powerful and balanced. And that's just really where my eye has been attracted to this evening. And I see the pomegrams. There's the seven of them. Probably the seven different chakras it represents.
Mm. Yeah.
Master Christopher,
Yes.
since we were talking about bringing heaven to earth, and that seems to be the theme I'm hoping for, could you explain a little more to the class, like how they could do that?
That's a great question. So, with most things, our intention directs how we align our personal will with the divine. So intention and desire will take us very far, right? For some of us, this is a devotional practice, right? So anything we do with integrity and devotion, whatever we aim for, the central key here is the archer. And one of the one of the symbols of the high priestess is the bow. I don't know if you know this. The Gimel means camel, but it also means bow. So you have this archer and this bow, and we're shooting for the very highest state of our being. This isn't something we figure out with our intellect. But it's the path of the heart, right? Where where our heart is, there's our treasure. So the master said when he's asked, where the kingdom of heaven, right? We all know this. It's like if he says it's over here, then no. If it's over there, no. It's within, right? So the more we turn our consciousness within to the divine presence, it is the divine presence that we do not have to create. We already are that. So, there are a couple of ways to this. One is the letting go and the letting go and the letting go and the letting go. You see the pillars beside the high priestess of the white and the black. One practice is when you go into meditation and something comes up, you practice the not this, not that. You don't allow your consciousness to stay habituated to one or the other. And then that's the letting go route. The other, little more active way is to hold whatever desire you have and its opposite simultaneously. To hold these tensions within your being. If it's desire, don't suppress that desire. Don't pretend you don't have it. Don't don't try to make it go away. You just hold it. You just hold it. You just hold it. Like the beautiful sculpture of the Holy Mother, where she's stepping on the serpent's neck, and the serpent has that fruit of desire in his mouth. She's not killing the serpent. She just gently holds it with her foot. Complete mastery. And we breathe into this desire and we hold it for as long as it takes in our core. This brings about transmutation because when a desire cannot be expressed at this level or an emotional or even mental level, this is the life force itself. It is then rechanneled up the central column back to source because all desire is rooted in self. Now, those are the two technical ways to practice meditation. And the most simple, direct one is to just do what you love to do. Whatever you do that you love, do that. And try to make that be of service to others. So that's how I feel about it. Anyone else have any ideas about how you might can bring heaven to earth?
The Eucharist, by participating in the Eucharist and participating in prayer and meditation. I mean, I know that's some of what you were saying in your response as well.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Miriam. Yes, the Eucharist is maybe the most powerful one that I know of, right? To bring to directly in ritual because it combines ritual with devotion with with the gift of life from our creator, right? Our master.
My favorite thing is it's not an actual like ritual or anything, but it is just practice of like seeing the best in people and things and like bringing that out. I love to connect with people intimately, like one on one. And that's something I don't know, like Charlie has the same thing where he just loves to bring the thing out of people. And it's like,
Yes.
I want to just like make everything better by being, by being a part of that life, their life, or yeah, I
Yeah.
want to leave things better than I found them.
That's lovely.
So what you give life to, that what you pay attention to, what you give life to, that's what is in your world.
Yeah.
So when you focus on, you see it, you say, well, you have to look for heaven in your world to have it be there. You have to recognize it when you see it because it is there.
Yes.
What
It's
is
really
that
all there is.
Course in Miracles that only love is real?
Right. Exactly. Only love is real, and nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists.
Yeah.
Now, that's a beautiful statement, but just to clarify that, when what it means by the real is it means the eternal. We're not talking about the impermanence that we experience in this world. In this world of this vibratory level of Malkut, everything is in constant change and constant flow, constant evolution and shifting. And it relies it we have to have polarity to have this experience of creation.
So is it like the personality where, or like fashion where we change our clothes and we become, but then the true thing underneath it all is the soul,
Yes.
the love,
Yes.
but we're
Yes.
our grow and to
Yes.
learn. We learn and grow from those things, right? By the mistakes, by the
Right.
sins, but
Yes. So yes to all of those things. We at our core, we never left heaven ever. It's like the fool. We've never left our being. It's just when we are immersed in the world, we we sometimes forget that state of our being. And that's what the waking up part is. We wake up a little more and a little more and a little more. But to be completely ourself here now, that's the most direct way to bring heaven to earth. And each of us here are doing that. We wouldn't be here if we weren't doing that. And we're simultaneously raising this vibratory level back up. If you look at the central keys here, notice that the world, the dancer has united the masculine and feminine within their being and is being raised into the clouds, right? The high priestess, the divine waters are flowing from the highest down. The angel, of which is one's higher being, is pouring the fire on the water and the water on the fire, creating this steam, and the water is evaporating back up. So we are continuously flowing into matter and raising it back up simultaneously. And it's quite beautiful.
The way I see those three cards, starting from the bottom, to me, was when I see that oval egg, to me represents the inner world of for myself, where I
Mm-hmm.
go in to be quiet, where I go
Yes.
in to separate myself from the world only so
Yes.
that I can kind of get a footing and a clarity for a
Mm.
cleansing. So things that no longer serve me can be put aside or given up or whichever, whatever's needed, so that you can then rise into that will to match your personal will with God's will in the temperance card. You know,
Yes.
to take on that, like if you put yourself in the place of Michael, there you are, right? In control of your life, leading your life, conducting your life in relationship with God, and then bringing you into that higher consciousness of the high priestess, where you're then actually giving back into the world.
That's really beautifully said. Thank you.
I really liked how you mentioned, Eli, do what you love. And when you do what you love, like the high priestess, it just flows from you. There's no, you know, there's no roadblocks and things like that. So the more that you can find that what you love, and the more that you can, get into that pattern, that's where that beautiful flow comes from. And I think a lot of the roadblocks are demolished by that, because it's powerful. Just like when the water runs, it takes away stuff that isn't of our source.
Mm.
Just seems really beautiful to me.
That is beautiful. Thank you, Reverend Rachel. All right.
Just to, oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Go
I was
on.
just going to say, just to quickly add to that, I mean, when you do what you love, you enter into, I mean, more often than not, you enter that flow state. And one of the aspects of entering that flow state is, you know, you're fully immersed in whatever it is that you're doing. Time, the sense of time falls away. The uh, you know, multiple converging thoughts all just, it's like this very clear channel that
Yes.
you just kind of, almost like a sense of self is kind of, you're lost within the work. I mean, you hear this in a lot of like the arts and the muse and the genus and or the genius and all
Yeah.
that, of just that type of thing. And a simple way of touching on that is just, think of a time when you really had fun. And it's like, well, what are the characteristics of that? You're like, well, you weren't thinking about time or anything. You were just completely immersed in it. You were
Yes.
just completely immersed in that. And so just that aspect of the falling away of worldly concerns, time,
Right.
responsibilities, all that. I mean, that's where it's just a little signal. Again, not to get lost into what those signals are. It's just like, if you're in it, just enjoy it, enjoy the flow, and you know, be the high priestess. Their thing.
Excellent. Thank you, Easy. Yes,
Well,
very well said.
I just wanted to share one thing really quick. Somebody just sent me a message literally just now
Mhm.
that says their pomegranates are ripening. Can I bring a dozen or so? And I was like, are you kidding me? My neighbor down the street, they
Oh,
wouldn't
I
know.
hope you get some.
I'm like, can I have seven, please?
Yes.
Not
Right.
six, but can I have seven?
Yes. You should absolutely get them and put some on your altar.
Oh, they will go. Yeah, for sure. I just thought
Talk
I
about
have
Sarah.
to because it's too serendipitous.
Thank you for sharing that, Starlet. That's beautiful and perfect. And that is absolutely perfect. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All of you, thank you. You are all just unbelievably amazing. I can't say enough good things about each and every one of you. Thank you all for your work. And thanks for sharing your light and your insights here. I know many of you here are priests, and I'm so grateful for you. The world is grateful for you. If anyone watching this is interested in or feels called to the priesthood, and particularly the Western mystery tradition and the tarot, then you're going to want to spend a lot of time with these three keys. All right. So simply, your homework this week, these are your three keys for your core practice. That's it. Follow your intuition, trust it. It's from yourself, which is divine, which has always existed. Trust it. You know, this middle key is the key of trial and error, experimentation. It's how we learn and how we learn to trust in self. So this week, as you're visualizing and going to sleep, imagine yourself at the foot or to the side of the high priestess, or at the foot to the side of the angel. Or imagine yourself another night as the world dancer within that wreath, holding those spirals of light. Also, then imagine yourself as the guardian angel and that white and that gold star at your heart. And then, of course, imagine yourself sitting in perfect equilibrium and poise as the high priestess. Follow your heart here and what calls to you, what feels, what tells you in your intuition, come, this is the way. Also, this week, when you're working with these keys and holding them in your inner knowing or vision, do a few cycles of the fountain breath and circulate the white light through all of your auric fields. This brings the super consciousness from your highest divine self on the simple tree that you're going to memorize this week down through all of your vehicles into Malkut. And above all of this, give your real deep intention and will to wake up in your dreams. Thank you all again for your light and participation. This concludes this week's Zoom portion of Lucid Ascent, rising on the planes through the middle pillar. The floor is now open for any questions or comments.